I'm just going to take about 30 seconds, and I told Anita that I'm going to hug her while we're doing this. Anita is one of our student ambassadors, so I've had the privilege to work with her as a counselor in orientation, and I was chatting with her while she was at the welcome podium talking about what we're doing this day, and she's like, boy, do I have stories to tell. So I made it a priority to put her on the agenda today, and she is one of our COM certificate students, so she's going to become a pro at this. So, there you go.
Well, I'm not quite as comfortable speaking without notes, and I have great communication professors, but I am going to use a few notes here. Good afternoon. As you can see, I'm not your average college student, but I'm here representing those college students who are financing their education alone without any parental help, many who have families that they have to support themselves. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. I grew up on the east side of St. Paul in a working class family. My father graduated from Central High School, and shortly after his graduation was drafted into World War II. After the war, he went to work at Northern States Power at the High Bridge plant. He started out shoveling coal onto a conveyor belt, and by the time he retired, he was a supervising engineer of the turbine and boiler rooms with a crew of a dozen men underneath him. He never attended college. My mother was a housewife. Born on the Iron Range, she graduated from Bowabic High School, and her older brothers wanted her to have a college education, and they even paid for her first year. But her father put a stop to it by saying, women don't need a college education to clean, cook, and raise children. So she never finished college. I graduated high school in 1975, and I wanted to be a veterinarian. But as I was growing up, my sister became gravely ill, and after she died, my dad's paycheck had to be stretched even further to pay for hospital bills, doctor bills, and even her funeral. There was no money left for me to go to college, and schools back then didn't push girls to go to college. So instead, I decided to do what my brother did and go to school free at the vocational school. I sat down with my high school counselor and we decided that maybe computers would be a good fit for me. And in December of 1976, I graduated from this building, from this mall, with a computer operations diploma. Several years later, I realized I was no longer excited about computers. So I tried other jobs until I stumbled across radiologic technology. I was accepted into North Memorial's hospital-based certificate program in 1986, and I was the graduating class of 1988. 5 other students dropped out because it was too hard. I had been working as a radiologic technologist for 22 years when one day my employer came in to me and said, "We're downsizing. We no longer need you." I was laid off. I lost a $66,000 a year income, and all I had left was my part-time job at Target at $6,000 a year. I knew I had to set a plan in motion. So I decided 6 months. If I can't find a job in 6 months, I'm going back to school. 6 months later, I was applying at Century to start work on an AS degree. I took only 1 class that summer because that was all I could afford. When the fall came, I took 4 courses and was given a Pell Grant and financial aid to help pay for my courses. I supported my children with my 25-hour-a-week Target job and the unemployment insurance I was receiving. When my unemployment insurance ran out, I lived off my financial aid disbursements and my Target job. We had no health care, no dental insurance, and I did not qualify for state aid because I made more than their $600 a month guideline. I could no longer afford my type 2 diabetes medicine or supplies, so instead I adjusted my diet to compensate. I got behind in paying my mortgage, so I tried modifying my mortgage and nearly lost my home in the process. The hardest thing about it, though, was that my kids paid the price. I have two. One attends the college here and another in middle school. But between going to school, studying, working, I never saw them. I was lucky, though. I didn't have to pay for daycare like some of the students have to do. Real food, we could afford nothing. Real nutritional food, that was out of the question, and so were school activities, because a $4 school dance was equal to a pound of hamburger or a gallon of milk and a loaf of bread. But I was lucky. My children understood, and they never complained. As I started my first semester here at Century, I found it overwhelming. It took me several trips to the financial aid department to finally figure out how to release my financial aid, and I was shocked the first time I ate in the cafeteria. Paying $5 for 2 hard-boiled eggs and a drink was way more than I had ever anticipated. I would have gotten a burrito at the Nest, but I was trying to eat what diabetics are supposed to eat. Free food is offered by the clubs, and it's great, but a lot of times by the time I got there, they were out of food. I remember one time being so hungry, I had no food for money. I went out to my car and ate the jerky treats I'd bought for my dog. They could have used a little bit more salt for my taste, but they curbed my hunger. I was so grateful when the food pantry opened up because I no longer had to eat jerky treats. I could actually get some canned fruit or a protein bar, and all I had to do was show my student ID to get them. The college has the Random Acts of Kindness program, which is great, but you need to have a receipt to submit your request. And when you're lacking food and have no money to buy any, there will be no receipt available to submit. If the college could have available for the students who have families to support some gift cards to the local grocery stores that they could ask for when they need help, that would be truly grateful. 2 years ago, I was told about the Student Ambassador Program, and I learned I'd get paid more than I got paid at Target. And I was so excited. I applied, I interviewed, and I got accepted. The extra paycheck meant I could afford some of the things my kids had been asking for. Apples, oranges, maybe some ice cream. I worked a lot of hours that summer, and I saved all the money I made. And I was even able to pay for my winter utility bills. Last year, I looked into Century's scholarships to help finance my education, but I was so close to the deadline when I finally found out about them that I chose not to apply. This year, the applications were online. Now, I was ahead of the deadline, but I was stopped in my tracks when they asked for a reference from friends. I've been so busy working, studying, going to school, I've forgotten about my friends. I've lost touch with all of them. So I had to stop the process because I had no one of my friends that could write a reference for me. My family knows me better than anyone. So this fall, I will once again apply for financial aid as I complete my AS degree. Since starting at Century, I've been able to earn an AA degree in liberal arts. I am working on my communication studies certificate. I am an honor student, and I have a 3.76 GPA. Presently, my financial aid repayment amount is $28,000 and will be over $30,000 by the time I leave Century. I would like to go on to Concordia College and get a BS in radiologic leadership or a BA in communications. I haven't decided which one yet. Either way, I'll be working for a long time to repay my student loans. Last year, I accepted a part-time job as an X-ray tech, but that was not before filing bankruptcy. I had a student advisor tell me recently that I was resilient. And I was so flattered by that, as I never saw myself as resilient. And just a week or so ago, my daughter said when she grows up, she wants to be like me because I'm so strong. See, I see myself as a survivor. I'll do anything I have to survive and to keep my family going. And when life throws me lemons, I will make lemonade. Thank you.